Good morning, everyone. Will Dupree here in the KXAN live studio. We have some tragic news to share out of San Saba, which is about 100 miles northwest of Austin. This morning, the San Saba ISD superintendent has confirmed to us that one of its students has been killed alongside two other people after a family violence incident in that community. We do have very few details to be able to share at this point. Nothing officially confirmed with law enforcement. However, the school district has let its families know about this particular situation and is also sharing some details about crisis counseling being available to support students and their families during what is undoubtedly a very shocking, tragic time. These are the details that we know so far. So take a look at this full screen that we have. Again, this is all information from the San Saba ISD superintendent. He confirmed that a 7th grade girl is among 3 people who were killed this morning in a family violence situation. This happened at about 6:45 this morning. That's when all the calls came in. The superintendent is also saying that a homicide suspect has been taken into custody by law enforcement. However, we have not been able to confirm that information specifically with any police agency or sheriff's office in that particular area. We want to reiterate again that the district is providing counselors and pastors to the school district. They have set up a crisis counseling area in the middle school, which is where this particular little girl went. If you're just joining us, we are sharing information right now about a triple homicide investigation that happened in San Saba this morning. What we know is that the school superintendent for the San Saba ISD is saying that the little girl's grandmother called the school district this morning at about 6:45 to report these very terrible details. Again, I'm going to read off some of our web story at the moment. The superintendent is saying that the school district was notified that one of its students was involved in a homicide at about 6:45 this morning. He and the middle school's principal went to the crime scene, which is just about a mile away from the middle school itself. I want to pull up a map here in just one second. I'll get that up so you can kind of get an idea. We do not have any visuals from the crime scene at the moment. We do have a crew on the way. Our reporter, Jody Barr, and a photographer are headed there at the moment, and we hope to be able to come back on a little bit later this afternoon and provide some more information, potentially from law enforcement. We're still working to confirm those details with them at the moment. Again, all we have at the moment is information that is shared by the San Saba ISD superintendent. So give me just one second and I'll pull up this map so that we can see that and get a feel for where this is in that particular community. Hold on one second. Let's see, here we go. All right, this is the map that we're talking about here. I've already pulled this up to show San Saba, which is again about 100 miles northwest of Austin. We'll go full screen on this map. This is only a community of a little more than 3,000 people according to the 2017 estimates. So a lot of people know each other there. This little red marker right here is where the middle school is, and we'll zoom in here. This is a Google map, just so everyone's aware. And it appears the middle school and senior high school are all right there grouped together. Again, a small district, a small community, so a lot of people know each other and are undoubtedly affected by this particular homicide. This is where the San Saba Middle School, where crisis counselors and pastors have now set up to be able to provide some information and comfort to the community there. The superintendent is saying that this homicide happened less than a mile away from the middle school right here. However, we do not have an official address of where that happened exactly in this community, so we're working to confirm that information as well. Once again, these are the details we're able to share about this particular homicide investigation at this time. All of our information is coming from the San Saba ISD superintendent, and this is what he told us. A 7th grade student, a young girl, is among 3 people who were killed this morning in a family violence situation. The superintendent is saying that a homicide suspect has been taken into custody at this point. However, we have not been able to confirm that particular information from any law enforcement officially this morning. The superintendent is also saying that counselors and pastors have set up a crisis counseling area in the middle school so that students and families can get some support at this really tragic time. The superintendent has also sent out a note to families, and if you take a look, this is a part of his statement that he sent to the families there in San Saba. I'm going to read this off. It's, quote, "We are heartbroken that this has happened, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families involved and the San Saba ISD family for their loss." Now, the superintendent would not share the name of this young girl who was killed this morning, and that's understandable. He is waiting for police to do so, and we are obviously working to confirm her name as well as the names of the other 2 people who were killed in this incident. Just to reiterate, everybody, Will Dupree here in the KXA and live studio sharing some incredibly tragic news out of San Saba, which is a community about 100 miles northwest of Austin. A small community. The last population estimate numbers that we could find are that it's a little more than 3,000 people. So undoubtedly a lot of people know who this little girl is and know her family and know maybe someone who is involved with this. What we are hearing also is that a suspect has now been taken into custody. We do not know that person's name. No law enforcement source or official has been able to confirm that particular information. Again, that's coming from the San Saba ISD superintendent. He did tell us that he and the middle school principal went to the crime scene this morning after they found out at about 6:45 this morning about this very tragic situation. He is saying that there was a 7th grade girl killed along with 2 other people at a home, and that this violence was some sort of family violence issue. That, again, is coming only from the San Saba ISD superintendent. He did send out a note to families this morning to kind of let them know about this situation and potentially prepare them for any questions that their students and their kids might have about this particular incident. I'm going to put up these details once again so that you all can read about what information we've been able to get this morning from the San Saba ISD superintendent. Now, he also says that counselors and pastors have set up a crisis counseling area in the middle school library to talk with students. In addition to its own counselors, a response team out of San Angelo has been called in to help, and the district also is a member of a local counseling co-op with 6 other school districts, that have licensed counselors in high-need situations, and that partnership lets smaller school districts share important resources, and undoubtedly this is a situation where that is coming in handy. That is being very used at the moment because a lot of students may have questions, and to deal with the obvious trauma and grief that is coming out of this situation. As you read there on your screen, we know that a 7th grade student at San Saba ISD has been killed along with 2 other people in a family violence situation there this morning. A homicide suspect has been taken into custody. That is according to the San Saba ISD superintendent once again. We are still working to confirm those particular details with law enforcement in that area. They are very busy at the moment with this investigation because this is a terrible tragedy that has happened in that community. We are trying to confirm some more details with this, working with that. We have our investigator, Jody Barr. He is headed to the scene right now. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive or so from Austin, so it's going to take some time for him and his photographer to get there. We're hoping to be able to provide some more images and potentially some live video later this afternoon, and we will bring that to you as soon as we can, and potentially some more information from Jody Barr himself as he works to confirm some additional details about this very terrible situation. Thank you all for joining us here on our live stream. We'll take this down here in a moment, but we have details on our website. There is a link if you're watching on Facebook in the Facebook Live description box. You can take that, click the link, and find out what information we have confirmed so far. Read about it there. We'll be updating it, obviously, throughout the day, so stay with us on KXAN.com and the KXAN News app as we still gather more information about this terrible triple homicide in San Saba. I want to pull up one more time before we go the map where this happened. This is a small community about 100 miles northwest of Austin. As we take this map full screen that you see right here, I've pulled it up showing San Saba. Where they say this has happened, we do not know the official address just yet about where this homicide took place. However, the superintendent at San Saba ISD says that it was less than a mile from the middle school, which is right here marked by that red marker here on this Google map. As we zoom in, the middle school is in the same campus area as the senior high school. So a small student population there, all working and undoubtedly finding out about this kind of around the same time, I would imagine, and dealing with the trauma and grief. And what the superintendent has told us is that crisis counselors and pastors are gathered here at the middle school library to provide resources and support and counseling help to the students there at the school. There's also some other school districts have sent in counselors as well to be able to provide some help to these students and families as they deal with this very shocking news this morning. We are still working to confirm additional details. Stay with us here on KXAN because this is limited information coming in from the San Saba ISD superintendent who was able to share quite a few details with us. Law enforcement will undoubtedly have more information to share today. And I want to show you this statement one more time. The San Saba ISD Superintendent Wayne Kelly, he sent out a statement, two different ones, to the families in this particular district, and this is part of it. If you're joining us again, I'm going to reread this. So, quote, "We are heartbroken that this has happened, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families involved and the San Saba ISD family for their loss." That is once again a statement that was sent out this morning by the San Saba ISD Superintendent Wayne Kelly. He has provided these details for us this morning, sharing that a seventh grade student is among 3 people who were killed in a family violence situation at a home there in that community. The homicide suspect has been taken into custody. Once again, we want to reiterate that law enforcement has not been able to confirm that particular piece of this information that the superintendent from the school district shared with us this morning. And fortunately for the students in that district, counselors and pastors are working to talk with them and provide some counseling at a crisis counseling area at the middle school library. I was taking a look at some of our Facebook comments as we're live right now on the KXAN News Facebook page. Some of you are wondering about the identities of the 2 other people killed in this triple homicide. We don't know that information just yet. All we have confirmed is that the San Saba ISD superintendent has said that a 7th grade student was killed, a young girl, and that's all that he would share at this time. So we are still working with law enforcement, trying to get that information and be able to share it with you all. Of course, the San Saba ISD superintendent is saying that this was a family violence situation, so that may clue into what those two other victims are tied to this young girl, but we don't know their identities or their relationship at this point, so we can't share that officially. So bear with us as we still work throughout the day to be able to provide some more information about this triple homicide. We're going to take down our live stream here now in just a moment, but we do appreciate you all joining this morning to talk about this very tragic news and this developing story that's happening in San Saba, which is about 100 miles or so northwest of Austin. Our investigator, Jody Barr, and a photographer are headed that way at the moment. They left not too long ago here from Austin, so it's going to take some time for them to get here. Stay with us on our streaming platforms. We're going to be able to provide, hopefully, some live pictures or at least some video images from these investigative sites where a lot of law enforcement are undoubtedly working this morning. So we will share that information a little bit later whenever we have it to be able to pass along to you all. Before we go, though, I want to reiterate, the San Saba ISD superintendent has been able to provide some details with us. That's the information that we have confirmed at this time. Take a look at this. These are the points that he was able to share with us, and we want to pass that along to you all as well. A 7th grade girl is among 3 people killed in a family violence situation in San Saba. A homicide suspect has been taken into custody. Law enforcement has still not been able to confirm that particular piece of this investigation with us, so we're still working to get that from them. And then counselors and pastors have set up a crisis counseling area. Not only counselors from the district itself, but other school districts have sent in their own personnel to help out in this situation. San Saba ISD is a part of a co-op so that when a tragic situation happens, they're able to kind of pull resources in some of these smaller areas and then send help where it's needed. So undoubtedly a helpful resource for this school district as it deals with a terrible tragedy in that area. The superintendent, Wayne Kelly, again provided this information that you're seeing on our screen. He also told us that both he and the school district were notified that one of its own students was involved in this triple homicide. They found out at about 6:45 this morning. Both the superintendent and the middle school principal went to the crime scene, which he says is about a mile away from the school. We don't have an official address where this happened confirmed just yet, but that is one piece of information that we're working to confirm at this time. The superintendent said the student who was killed was a 7th grade girl, and he is not releasing her name until police do. He said the incident that led to the deaths was a family violence situation, and a suspect has now been taken into custody. No students are in danger at this time. The superintendent wanted to reiterate that, so we obviously want to underline that piece of information as well. Now, the superintendent sent us a statement along with that went out to families within that district. Again, it says, "We are heartbroken that this has happened, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families involved and the San Saba ISD family for their loss." Will Dupree here again in the KXAN live studio. We're going to be taking down our live stream here in just a moment. I was trying to see if we had gotten some additional details from law enforcement at this time about this triple homicide in San Saba. We don't have anything confirmed additionally besides what the San Saba ISD superintendent has shared with us. You saw that information on that full screen just a few moments ago. Once again, this has happened at a home in San Saba. We want to stress that. The only information we have coming in, though, is from the school district itself. The superintendent has confirmed that a 7th grade girl is among 3 people who died in a family violence situation at a home in San Saba. We don't have an address officially confirmed, though the superintendent has said that this homicide happened less than a mile from the middle school. And at the middle school now, because school is still in session, they are providing crisis counseling from pastors and counselors, not only from the San Saba School District, but also neighboring ones who have sent additional resources to be able to help this small school district deal with this tragedy. The superintendent from the school district, again, is saying that a suspect has been arrested. The superintendent and the middle school principal went to the crime scene, which is at a home, not at the school itself. We want to stress that. This was at a home in San Saba. And this was notified from the district, though, at about 6:45 this morning. The superintendent has sent out communication with the school district and its families there to kind of let them know about what has happened there, because information is undoubtedly getting around the community at this time. We are going to take down our live stream. Our investigator, Jody Barr, and his photographer, they are not too far away from San Saba. Once we're able to get some more information from law enforcement, as well as potentially some video from that area, we'll come back on our streaming platforms on KXAN.com, the KXAN News app, and the KXAN News Facebook page so that we can share some more information with you all. We have details on our website, KXAN.com. You can read our web story there, as well as on our news app. We thank you again for watching. We are going to take down our live stream now and provide some additional information a little bit later today, so please stay with us.